I had a lot of fun making the Kent Hovind response to my YouTube comments video, and it seemed to be pretty well received too. So, since I'm certainly not going outside what with the pandemic and climate change causing it to be 106 degrees Fahrenheit where I live, let's just do it again. In one of inmate 0645 2017's recent videos, he reads some comments, and he puts PZ Meyer's name in the title. The only problem is he doesn't even read PZ's whole comment. Or mine. Seriously, Kent stops in the middle of reading my comment and says that he doesn't want to take the time. This was after reading a paragraph-long comment praising Drowning Adventureland. Apparently Kent didn't have time to read my whole comment, but he did have time to ramble about Joseph Goebbels and Hitler for 10 minutes. Go figure.
What guy writes in, Kent doesn't think extremely dense objects can exist in space. Oh, they exist right in between your ears. Neutron stars and black holes, which scientists have pictures of. Now hold it. What guy? If this neutron star and black hole is so dense that nothing escapes from it, what are you taking a picture of? Isn't the light coming off of your face what the camera captures? But this thing is so dense it would attract all the light. So there'd be nothing coming off of it. How can they possibly have a picture of a black hole? Would you please explain that to me?
Despite your pathetically juvenile joke, I'd be happy to answer your question. A team of about 100 scientists used 8 state-of-the-art telescopes, which used radio waves instead of visible light, to capture several separate images of the black hole. From NASA.com, quote, "For scientists, the challenge was how, from thousands or even millions of light years away, to capture an image of the hot, glowing gas falling into a black hole. An ambitious team of international astronomers and computer scientists has managed to achieve both. Working for well over a decade to achieve the feat, the team improved upon an existing radio astronomy technique for high-resolution imaging and used it to detect the silhouette of a black hole, outlined by the glowing gas that surrounds its event's horizon, the precipice beyond which light cannot escape. The technique is called Very Long Baseline Interferometry, or VLBI. It works by creating an array of smaller telescopes that can be synchronized to focus on the same object at the same time and act as a giant virtual telescope. Basically, the scientists create an image of a black hole by capturing the silhouette against the glowing surroundings of gas and dust, the light that is bent around the black hole that creates an image where you can actually see it.
Also, the Big Bang model does not describe the very beginning of the universe or before it. It describes the universe a short time period. I need the bigger hammer to whack this guy, I think. Okay.
It's right there, honey.
I know, I don't want to take time now. Forget it. Okay. Sage of Synergism writes in, what was inflating?
Okay, so you're just going to dismiss the image of the black hole, and then you're just going to dismiss my comment by not even reading it. I'm not sure why you showed it in the first place. Seems like an admission to me that you can't actually refute what I'm saying, so you have to just make some off-color remark about hitting somebody with a hammer. Well, that's what ignorant people do when they can't have an intellectual argument. They just resort to violence. The rest of my comment said, also, the Big Bang model does not describe the very beginning of the universe or before it. It describes the universe a short time period after it began as being in a very hot, dense state, and that over time, the universe has changed to a cooler, less dense state via cosmic inflation.
What was the singularity made of? Excellent question. Where did the elements come from in order to fuse into stars and planets and moons? So everything was in a dot. So Brett writes in to answer the question, what was inflating? Everything. The universe itself expanded and is continuing to expand. What was the singularity made of? Everything in the universe. So So, Brett, you're claiming everything in the universe was squeezed into this dot. I'll pay you $1,000 if you can squeeze a cup of water into a dot.
As usual, Kent is comparing two things here that aren't the same at all. The locality of the universe shortly after cosmic inflation started, where the universe was so hot that atomic nuclei hadn't even formed yet, which means there was no matter. Then he's comparing that to our current time frame on Earth with Earth's gravity, and then trying to compress some water into a tiny point. It's a nonsensical comparison. And Kent really shouldn't talk about water. I mean, considering he thinks one drop of water can cover the entire Earth if you spread it really thin.
Where did the elements come from? The Big Bang model doesn't address where the elements came from. In other words, we're not prepared for that. That's what they use on me all the time. This is currently unknown. It's not science. The Big Bang is not science. Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's right-hand man, said if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, the people will eventually come to believe it. The lie can be maintained only for such a time as the state can shield the people from the political, economic, and/or military consequences of the lie. It thus becomes virtually impossible for the state to use all of its powers to repress dissent, for the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus, by extension, the truth is the greatest enemy of the state. That's why Hitler didn't want his people to know the truth. A big lie. A phrase Hitler used in his book, Mein Kampf, on the shelf over there. The expression was coined by Adolf Hitler when he dictated his 1925 book, Mein Kampf, My Struggle, about the use of a lie so colossal that no one would believe that someone could have the impudence to distort the truth so infamously. That's what this Big Bang is. It is such a big lie that people can't believe that a scientist would say such a thing without it being true. Has to be true because he believes it. He said it.
No. People accuse scientists of lying all the time, especially about the Big Bang. I mean, isn't that what you're doing right now? What you're describing is what the people in the room do every time you make a ridiculous claim. Oh, it must be true because Kent Hovind said it.
Hitler has to be right then because he said it.
What was the lie he was referring to?
Well, with Hitler, it was the Jews, and really Hitler was a very strong believer in evolution.
That the Jews were apes.
The Jews were close to apes.
That's the lie he's talking
And the
about.
blonde-haired, blue-eyed Germans, Norwegians actually, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, are the superior race, the Nordics. Vår den store till idag. Ufta, hey there, fella. Yeah, sure, you betcha.
I think I'm going to end the video here. Kent's really jumped the shark. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a nice day. If you'd like to support the channel, the Patreon link will be in the comments.